My favorite bet is this one. Detroit Pistons plus 400. The streak ends Monday.
Love it.
Okay. The only thing the Pistons do moderately well is they're not absolutely terrible when we look at offensive rebounding. They are 13th in that category. Opponents' offensive rebound rate, they are 11th in that category. They control the glass. They are also, surprisingly, 18th in opponent effective field goal percentage. They actually do okay. Like, that's not terrible. That's outside of the bottom 10 in opponent offensive in defensive, rather, for the Pistons. Defensive effective field goal percentage. Atlanta, okay, is 27th in opponent offensive rebound rate. So the Pistons are going to get a bunch of offensive rebounds. The Hawks are third on their own, but they're without Clint Capella in this game. Overall, I will tell you that makes me nervous because Capella's been a negative this season. Don't love that. Capella's going to miss time with the knee bruise. The only other thing here, if we just kind of consider it, is that the Hawks are 30th, dead last in opponent effective field goal percentage. Okay, they are literally the team that the opponents shoot the best at. If the Pistons are ever gonna win a game, ever, I think it's got to be this one. Not the Spurs, not the Wizards, not the Hornets. I legitimately think it's got to be the Hawks. It's got to be a team that up so badly. You're like, of course they lost to the Pistons.
I'm looking at the
and
schedule.
There is no team more like that than the Atlanta Hawks. Jim mentioned Jalen Johnson. His absence is absolutely massive. That makes a very big difference. I make this number under it. Now, I will go ahead and say this. My numbers are never, ever going to be able to reflect how bad Detroit is. Like, I'm manually basically just like the down button, just because my numbers are basically like, well, no team's that bad. That's like a function of how my numbers work. This happens year over year. The worst team in the league is always overvalued by my system, because it's like, well, I mean, there's a floor to how bad you can be. And certain NBA teams are like, is there though? And the Pistons are absolutely that. But by God, we get plus 400. It's already down to plus 375 in the market. Like, I get 4-1 on the one. And if I win, I get to say that I called the one win to break the streak. I did bet this versus Pistons and got obliterated. They lost by 40. That was a number play. This one's much, much closer. I've got this one inside 5 points. I like Pistons plus 400. Jim, thoughts?
I think I think that my favorite part of the cap is I think the Hawks might be the all-time. Yeah, that totally checks out that they lost at home to the Pistons to break the 22 game now losing streak. They are probably the Hall of Fame tier team to do that, especially right now. That's my favorite part of the cap. And you know what? At a little plus 400, plus 375, I don't hate it. I may join, have a little fun. I don't want to curse it though.
Joe, can I get a Gruber?
Look, I mean, the implied odds 20%. So I mean, we just need to hit this one out every 5 times, and we're fine. So I think it's not crazy. And when you do look at their schedule coming up, it's like, yo, you better win this one because it's looking bad for them. I don't hate it. I totally understand the cap. Look, I don't think it's crazy as a dart throw here.
I don't think it's crazy as a dart throw. It's like the motto of buckets. I don't think it's crazy as a dart throw.